Hi there, it's Allison Marks with video 3 in a series about how the world is talking to you. And as I've been thinking about this whole topic and this whole series, and what are the things that are in common with all the different ways that the world is talking to you, and one of the core ideas that comes out for anybody who wants to start to listen more fully to what the world is saying is a concept about actually how we think. And what I call it is associative thinking versus linear thinking. If you know, we have a whole lifetime of experience. We have a whole lifetime of wisdom. Everybody who's been here for however many years has figured out a lot of things. But, as we know, we get in grooves of thinking, we get in grooves of ways of doing things. And the model or the map that we have of how the world works is that if X, then Y. And it's a very linear progression. We kind of have a tendency to think that if I, get to this milestone and then get to the next milestone and then to the next milestone, that I will eventually land on the right answer or land in the right place. Not so true. In a larger concept of how the world works, and which I think is more useful and allows for more possibilities, instead of being sort of a linear progression, what we have is a web. I call it an organic web. It grows as we grow. The possibilities change. The connections and the interconnections all come into being as we live, as we make choices, as we move down our path. Other things become available to us. We can't see, if we're on a line, right? We can't see at the beginning of the line, we can't see what's at the end of the line. We can say, I want to get to this place. I know where I want to be. And then try to figure out how to get there. But you actually can't get any closer to that if you don't take a movement. And once you take one movement, one step in a direction, in that general direction, you may find actually what you're wanting, instead of being over here, is actually a few degrees off over here, and you can course correct. And when you have a whole web or a whole network of associations of information and things coming into to weigh in on the topic, then you have a whole lot more support to actually get where you want to go and have a really good time along the way. So what we want to do is like massage our well-worn paths, start to work them out and loosen them up, and give us the opportunity to think a little bit differently. So I think of, for example, in Western medicine, I know I've knocked Western medicine already at least once in the last couple of videos. I'm not trying to knock anything or make it wrong. Just sharing some from my own experience about there's some limitations. In Western medicine, we're looking for, here's the problem so that we can give it the right solution. And in more holistic systems that are thousands and thousands of years old, the Vedic system, Ayurveda, and traditional Chinese medicine, other systems of understanding, when they talk about health, it's really about the whole being, and it's not just even about the personal body. It's all of the bodies, including, like, even in traditional Chinese medicine, there's 8 rays of traditional Chinese medicine that include acupuncture, herbs, qigong, meditation, all these things. One of them's feng shui. It's about the space around us, and so it sort of expands even our concept of where our boundaries are. So in traditional Chinese medicine, they have a very different view, very vast encyclopedia of knowledge. It's a way of living in the world, a way of experiencing the world, a lens through which you can see the world. Very different, as I said, not for them, but for me, certainly how I was raised, but it's something I've learned along the way. And I know there's a lot I still don't know. But in that worldview, you start to look at, like organs in the body. If you want to look at specifically health, if you're having trouble with your liver, it might be related to the season, a color, a number, a direction. There's so many different things that sort of tend to have a constellate together, that sort of move through the world with this similar energy. And depending on what the sensory organ is or what the system is looking at, it'll pick it up in a different way, but it's all sort of sensing the same essence of a thing, so that we can get information in ways that that might not make sense to the Western mind in the way that the Western mind is trained. It seems like something's hidden. It's not hidden. It just is not accessible from working it up here necessarily. So one of the ways that, I talked in one of the earlier videos about dropping from our head into our heart. When we can feel in our heart, in our whole being, we can feel when there's resonance with something. We can feel when there's resonance to something that's true or something that's not true, something that opens up possibility. You can sometimes feel a big in-breath. You can feel I say I feel sparkles, or something sparkly, because it feels like there's an allowing of light to come in. The light's always there. It's like, I have places in me that are closed down or opened up. And when new things come into my field or into my space, my understanding, I could feel how does that make me feel in my body, and I respond from there. I sometimes understand it with my head. I sometimes know exactly what's going on, but sometimes I have no idea. But I pay attention and I follow it, and that's what I really want to invite you to do if you're looking to learn how to read the world, how to read the signs. It's not, there's a deer and it means this about my future, or it means I should do this thing about my job. No, it's about how do you feel, following those sparkles for you. Where is the light shining? Where are you feeling it? When we have that in one area, also, there's one of the things about this associative thinking is that when we feel it in one area, it is in this web of connection with so many other things, and we can start to wake up to that. We can start to be more conscious of what's really going on around us. We can start to see that everything is interconnected. And the cool thing, I think, about this web of interconnection is that it can hold all the different possibilities. It can hold all different kinds of possibilities. It doesn't have to be, you can be pondering something or wondering about something, and information can come in from left field that doesn't, you couldn't write a story necessarily about how that thing is related to the topic, but it might have something really important to weigh in for you. So when you are thinking associatively, you can allow it to be there instead of having to judge it and push things away and figure out what makes sense and what doesn't. Just know it's all here. It's all good. I don't have to be the one to decide. It's not my universe, right? But take, feel your way through everything that's presenting and find your answers that way. So I guess just the last thing I want to say is that you can start to notice as you do this, you'll start to notice patterns, you'll start to notice qualities, you'll start to learn how to follow your inner promptings, how to live a life that's more in resonance. And as I'm speaking this, a blue jay just came to the door. What does that mean? So I want to invite you to just be thinking about how you think, thinking about what you allow in, what you don't allow in. See if there's ways that you can let yourself breathe a little bit more fully, ways that you can pay attention to how things make you feel, and just sort of actively be on the lookout for where there are associations around you, things that are sort of wanting to knit themselves into a web rather than looking for the right answer. Thank you so much. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Go ahead and leave some comments, and be coming back to you tomorrow.